Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jeff of Fluent American checking in once more here at the Schwa Mill, where every single Saturday we help you craft your accent to achieve a more natural sound in American English. We're here every single Saturday at this time listening to pronunciation files that you send, so that way you can get some personalized feedback just for you, because that's what's most helpful, right? So,
So what did you do today? Nothing special. I just woke up and did some work. Well, if you don't have any plans, should we get some dinner? Yeah, why not? And we can catch up with some friends.
okay, everything's super high pitch wise, which is I feel like Sycamore in general tends to be a little lower, which that's great. Um, I want to highlight the text here. Let's play that one more time, and then we'll give some thoughts on this.
So what did you do today? Nothing special. I just woke up and did some work. Well, if you don't have any plans, should we get some dinner? Yeah, why not? And we can catch up with some friends.
Really like some things I do like. I do really like that why not part. Like yeah, why not? Like yeah, why not? Great raising of the pitch. That's something that again American English learners tend to have lower pitches and aren't really experimenting with those higher ranges. So I like what you did there. Congrats on that. Another thing that stood out to me is in something I say for to Sycamore a lot. Short I sounds, so we'll be paying attention to the word dinner. Just making sure we're saying din and not dean. It's not diener. It's more dinner. Some tricks for that short I sound. Again, the sides of your tongue touching your top teeth. The back of your tongue also needs to be a little bit more down, and placement's going to be low. And you can also probably lower your lower jaw just a little bit to get more of that like sound dinner. I would practice that progression. But let's see if there's other things that are standing out here from this file.
So what did you do today? Nothing special.
Okay, so let's play that. What did you do today?
So what did you do today?
I really like that linking. What did you? Very common reduction there. So instead of what did you? Very common linking. Notice that did you? You can link that d sound with a y sound with you with a j sound. It's like did you? Very common linking form there. That's great.
So what did you do today?
What did you do today? Also notice that do is our stress word. So do starts going up in pitch, which is what you would expect. And then it's going to start going down again. It's like do today, do today. So what did you do today? Very good. All right, let's see what else is going on here.
So what did you do today? Nothing special.
Special. Let's talk about that. So it says, nothing special, and you can see that in the text here. Nothing special. So special in general, because that L is at the end of the word, something that you see very often when an L is at the end of a word, it takes on a dark L sound. If you're not sure what that means, basically it's going to sound like all, where the back of your tongue is high and actually the front of your tongue is down. So when you see an L at the end of the word, you don't usually want your tongue up here. Usually you want it down here in the front. So special. And what that does is it lets more air pass through, because American English always wants air moving through the body, not trying to block that. So let's listen to that one more time.
So what did you do today? Nothing special.
Yeah, special versus special. Can you hear the difference there just with adding that dark L sound? Moving on.
I just woke up and did some work.
Just woke up and did some work. So I like we're doing some pitch experimentations here. So again, we're kind of playing around with some of these higher pitches than normal, and I like it. And one of the things that we're seeing here too is I just posted a clip talking about pitches and thought groups. Is when you switch from one thought group to the next, what often happens is the pitch shifts. It's like, oh, nothing special. And then we're going to go up a little bit higher for that next part. I just woke up and did some work. Nothing special. I just woke up and did some work. So you can hear the pitch kind of shifting there. So I appreciate those shifts going on. That's great.
Just woke up and did some work. Well, if you don't have any plans, work. Well, if you don't have any,
Well, I would say that well there just goes back to dark L. So well, W-E-L-L. I would recommend a dark L sound here because it's going to open things up and keep the breath. Because right now it's sounding a little bit closed off, like well versus like well. The other thing that's going to do too is it's going to open up your vowel sound. We want the vowels to be a little bit more dominant than your consonant sounds. That's just going to open things up a little bit further. Beyond that,
Well, if you don't have any plans,
well, if you don't have any plans, I like plans like that sort of movement. I like that kind of like fall rise a little bit in terms of the intonation. Plans. What that implies is you're not done talking. Also, maybe you're softening things up and also giving a suggestion or asking a question. So I like that intonation pattern being used there.
should we get some dinner?
And again, you can hear that on dinner. Should we get some dinner? Well, if you don't have any plans, should we get some dinner? Or if you don't have any plans,
Should we get some dinner?
should we get some dinner versus should we get some dinner?
Should we get some dinner?
I would also say in terms of pitch.
Well, if you don't have any plans, should we get some dinner?
Well, if you don't have any plans, should we get some dinner? So we're also kind of getting into, again, pitch and thought groups. But what I would say is that we're using a lot of high pitches, which is great. I'm glad you're pushing yourself in that direction. But we can also use some low pitches too, right? So, like, well, if we don't have any plans, you want to get some dinner? Like, I could see that actually being more likely to go down in pitch for that thought group instead of going up. So, again, I like you're going using some more of those high pitches. Let's also incorporate some lower pitches as well. Well, if we don't have any plans, you want to get some dinner? And Emmanuel asks us a great question. Well, can you further reduce what did you do to what you do? What you do? Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Don't fear the enemy that attacks you, but fear the fake friends who hug you.
Okay. A couple little vowel things I want to take a look at. Starting with enemy.
Don't fear the enemy that
Enemy. Do you hear that? Enemy. What's happening here is we're getting very nasally in terms of our placement. So it's almost like we're talking like from up here, from our nasal cavity, instead of having a lower placement using our diaphragm a little bit more. So I'll try to make sure that again you're projecting from a lower position. So it's going to give you a more natural sound. So say enemy, more enemy, N. And that's probably where you would start because it's probably that letter N that's causing that to happen. So I would just practice doing like N, enemy, 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 enemy. That sort of cycle just to make sure that we're keeping that sound consistently low and open the entire time.
don't fear the enemy that attacks you, but
I would also say for you, we're also getting a little nasally there. You versus you. You. So again, very similar to enemy, just trying to keep that placement low. It's not you, it's more you.
you, but
Back up a little more.
that attacks you,
Attacks you versus attacks you. Pay attention to that.
but fear the fake friends who hug you.
Another big thing is going to be that schwa sound on hug, because I feel like I'm almost hearing hog you versus hug you, hug you. I don't want to hog you. A hog is an animal.
Fake friends who hug you.
Hog you versus hug you. So comparing an ah sound or even maybe a little bit of an ah sound versus an sound for that schwa, what you're really trying to do on hug is you're trying to get your face into a neutral position. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is, again, just take away any smiles or frowns or unhappy faces, just a neutral expression. Okay, some things you'll notice when you're in a neutral expression is that your top teeth and your bottom teeth aren't touching. You also feel that the middle of your tongue is actually going up a little bit, though the front of your tongue may go down. You don't want the middle of your tongue touching anything now. Then you're going to open your lips just a little bit, and your goal is to project from a lower position down here and try to get an type sounds like hug, hug. This is the same sound people make as a filler word. So since when they say or they say that's the sound we're going for. So we want to try to get that onto hug, just a note. Okay, let us take a listen to this file.
I went to the garden of love and saw what I never had seen. A chapel was built in the mist where I used to play on the green.
Thanks to Shoke for gracing us with her voice. We appreciate that. I think this first part sounds really good. Lots of air coming through. We mentioned earlier about the schwa sound. We saw that on hug, and I like the schwa sound here. You can hear it on love. Love tends to be kind of a tricky word for a lot of people. So it's not la la, it's more la la. Emmanuel saying thanks to Shook, as we should say thank you to Shook. I appreciate that. Other things here.
The garden of love.
I also like that V sound at the end. Not too strong, right? It's not love, because that's way too strong of a V. But some people are also doing like love with just like an F sound. But I think that this use of the final V is really good, very natural sounding. Perfect.
And so what I never had seen.
You can also pay attention to some pitches here. It's like saw, and then notice that it goes like what I went up really, really high. And then we went down again on the had seen. So this is a nice section that kind of demonstrates what you can do with pitch. And obviously you don't have to sing and talk, but you do want these sorts of movements in your speech. So there are moments where you want to go a little higher than what may feel comfortable to you, and also lower. Okay. All right. Moving on.
And so what I never had seen.
Also like that N sound on seen. An N sound is such a tricky sound because what a lot of people are doing is they're saying seeing, but no, say here she's saying more seen. So I really like that movement there. The N is really weak. Emphasis more on the E sound. Good stuff.
Had seen. A chapel was built in the midst. Where
Yeah, chapel was built in the midst. Perfect. Yep. I think that looks pretty good.
Was built in the midst.
I like these short I sounds in the midst. So again, it's not in the midst, it's in the midst. I like that movement there. Good stuff.
Where I used to play on the green.
Yeah.
Where I used to play.
I would say maybe on play again a little nasally, like play versus like play, so it's kind of something to play around with there, just seeing fit. You can use some nasally placement, but I would just try to get a little bit more breath there. It might help make it sound just a little richer as opposed to shrill.
So I'll say something that led me to this journey.
Okay.
I'll say something.
So first of all, I like your contraction with Al. Like I'll just, because usually Al is not a pronoun or a contraction that receives a lot of weight and stress. So we generally do want to reduce that, and I think you're doing a great job there.
So I'll just
notice how everything just kind of becomes one word. So instead of saying I'll just, great linking there with breath. I like it a lot.
So I'll say something that.
I'll say something, and I like your strategy here. This is something that we've talked about a bit on the channel. I'll just say something. So you start off saying something.
So I'll say something.
I'll just, then we pause, and then we repeat the I'll, and but we change the intonation on it, and that's a super common strategy when you're talking, and then you need to like restart. What you can do is you can pause, then repeat what you just said or a part of what you just said, but change the intonation or change the pitch on it. That's a super common strategy you're going to see native speakers use. So I really like that. Grant, I know you were shadowing, but I like that.
So I'll say something that led me to this journey.
Do you want to talk about that led me to this journey part a little bit? I should make some note that this took about 20 minutes. Okay, it become much more efficient. Sometimes it takes like an hour. So that's great to hear. So some other things for this part.
That led me to this journey. I'll say something that led me to this journey.
Led me to this journey. I'm curious in the original audio, because this to me sounds slightly choppy. Like led me to this journey.
Say something that led me to this journey.
Led me to this journey versus led me to this journey. Led me to this journey. I'd be curious to hear their TH sound, to see how firm it was. Maybe it was this firm. I would play back the audio just to confirm. Yes, it was this firm. To this journey versus like to this journey. Just a note.
That led me to this journey. I once was speaking to an old gentleman. I once was speaking to.
I like that. I once was speaking, so I like that the dragging out the I sound. I once was, that's again a very common strategy when you're talking to kind of drag out a sound, rising intonation, let your listener know that you're about to say more information. I like that a lot.
To an old gentleman.
Old to me does sound a little bit closed off in the throat, like old versus like old gentleman, old gentleman. Just I do think we get a little bit more breath through. I would listen to the original just to see if your old sounds like his.
I once was speaking to an old gentleman.
Because it really stands out. I once was speaking to an old versus I once was speaking to an old, like it just keeping the breath going.
Old gentleman who lived in a desert.
Want to hear the short I sounds there?
An old gentleman who lived in a
Lived in. It's not quite E sound, but it's kind of leaning that way. So I'd watch out a little bit for those short I's. Like who lived in, It's a lived in or lived in. Just a note there.
who lived in a
Lived in a versus lived in a. And I'm guessing they said a, but just make sure again it wasn't reduced more to an lived in a. But I'm guessing in the shadowing they said a.
old gentleman who lived in a desert and
I really like how you said desert. Good R sound. I know that can be tricky.
lived in a desert.
Desert. That's a really good R. You know, it's not desert. It's desert. That's a really nice R sound. Lots of air coming through. I like that a lot.
And southern Colorado. In a desert in southern Colorado.
Southern. I would be curious to see, is it southern or was it southern with maybe a slightly lower placement? It might be higher. That's not to say that it's wrong. I think there are people that pronounce it that way, but I would be curious to hear if the placement was lower on that sound.
Southern Colorado.
And here it is. Now, I got the red one, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes. I believe I saw a blue one, a orange one, brown, black, and I believe it was green. Not 100% sure though.
Okay. Thanks to Emmanuel for sending us a file. Always appreciate hearing from you. Say that again.
And here it is. Now, I got the red one, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes. I believe I saw a blue one, a orange one, brown, black, and I believe it was green. Not 100% sure though.
Okay. Let me know, Emmanuel. Are you shadowing or is this just you? Okay, just something to keep in mind, or are you kind of doing a mixture? Some things that are standing out here.
And here it is.
Emmanuel's really working on pauses. So I like the pauses. One of the other things I like about this too is the different pitches you're using. Like here it is, like just each one of those pauses when we re-enter, it's playing at a different range. Okay.
And here it is.
Yeah. So again, a very natural sort of progression there.
Now, I got the red one.
Okay, I think that's fine. I got the red one. Okay, and good pitch there.
I got the red one.
I got the red one. So like again, that's what you would expect in terms of your stress with that higher pitch on the red one part with that rising intonation. Okay, I like that. Some other options that you have for stress too. You could have stressed I. Now I got the red one. Especially because the contrast is then, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes. Okay, so it's almost like you're suggesting someone else might get a different one. Like, I got this, but you might get this, But again, you don't have to stress I. You could stress the red one. That's fine.
Here it is. Now, I got the red one.
Okay. You're also using the I got the. Again, that's fine. You could also use the I got the. Just an option there. I like your owl sound on now. That can be a tricky vowel.
It is. Now.
That's really good. Lots of breath. I really like that a lot.
I got the red one, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes. But
good schwa sounds. Good.
It comes in a bunch of different finishes. It comes in a bunch of different.
It comes in a bunch of different. I wouldn't be opposed to that vowel sound just being a little bit more open on bunch, a little bit longer on bunch. But that's not to say that what you're doing is wrong.
It comes in a bunch of different finishes.
No, I got the red one, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes. I would have considered falling intonation. Like if I were actually saying this, I probably would have done falling. Now I got the red one, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes. Okay. Like I believe I saw a blue one, an orange one, like something like that. That's how my intonation would have been personally. But it comes in a bunch of now I got the red one, but it comes in a bunch of different finishes, like a falling intonation there.
But it comes in a bunch of different finishes. I believe I saw
I believe. How about believe?
different finishes. I believe I saw
I believe versus I believe.
different finishes. I believe I saw
I believe I saw. So I would just watch out for that E sound on believe, because I do think you're reducing it a little bit. Believe versus believe.
different finishes. I believe I saw blue one.
Blue is also closing off.
Saw blue one.
Blue one. Blue one. Blue. 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 I do think your placement's just a little high on blue, or the air's getting a little bit restricted, or both. So just kind of watching out for blue.
I believe I saw blue one.
A blue one.
Orange one.
Orange one. Again, A is fine. I probably would use a schwa. Like I saw a blue one, orange one, or an orange one. So the other and you get away with.
Blue one, a orange one.
Orange one, okay.
Brown.
Again, I really like your owl sound linking with the N. That's not an easy linking to do.
And
so I like how you're saying brown. I like that a lot.
Orange one, brown.
Really good, very open.
Black.
I would like a little bit more on that. Black. Do you hear that difference? I want a little bit more Might help to tense your lips just a little bit more to get more of that sound.
Orange one, brown, black, and I believe it was green.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like that. Good.
Not 100% sure though.
It sounds to me like you're saying sure though. I didn't hear sure. I did not hear sure of that. I heard sure. Not 100% sure though. And though is fine if that is what you said. Not 100% sure though. But if you say 100% sure of that, something is off.
Not 100% sure though.
All right, guys. Again, just something I want to highlight. So if you want to get some pronunciation practice with me, like every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, one thing we do is a program called Mission English, where I'm here and you're over there, maybe with 2 or 3 other students. And what we do is we do exercises together to start sounding more natural in American English. And we specifically do exercises, for like intonation. We do it for pitch. We do it for specific vowel sounds. We do it for a dark L sounds, like that ul sound. We do it for like short I sounds, for N sounds. One thing we've been doing recently is studying a lot of like breath and things like that. And this is all part of our program that, again, is called Mission English. This is the schedule that we have Monday through Friday. Okay. And again, so you pay once per month and you get access to every single one of these streams, up to 40 a month, but guarantee a minimum of 30. Okay. For the price of what many teachers charge for one class. Honestly, cheaper than that. Okay. So we would love to have you in our group. Just want to play a quick trailer to kind of demonstrate the types of things that we do. Just a quick note, sometimes the audio does come in a little hot, but again, this is an example of our Mission English program.
Ooh, notice that for me, I'm not really having that ooh, and it doesn't sound exactly the same, like ooh and ooh, but they're close enough that for the speech that you're doing in daily life, it'll be okay. Really nice day.
Really nice day.
So what I'm hearing, I heard really nice day. So what happened was you put day at a lower pitch. Really nice day.
Just loose.
Okay. I would say, I thought for the most part it sounded pretty good. I think there were a couple words that we do want to watch out for a little bit. Hey. Yeah, there you go. That last one's great.
So if you would like more information about Mission English too, if you go to our homepage, actually, we have lots of previews of what classes are like. Occasionally we do some free ones on the channel. So again, this is right on our homepage, Mission English. Lots of different examples of what a Mission English class is like. We would love to have you there and join us. But let's listen to this first part again. Try to highlight some of those things I mentioned.
I guess what I'm saying is that
and we can, everything I'm talking about too, about placement and breath, is also kind of impacting your vowel sounds, because what you're saying here
I guess what I'm saying is that
Like, I guess what I'm saying is, versus like, I guess what I'm saying is, because I think if you're able to get your placement a little bit lower, that's going to help with a lot of these vowels. Because right now, for instance, your short I sound, then is becoming like an E sound. Okay. And that's a different vowel. It's the difference between like live and leave, or like sit and seat. So it's not ease, it's more is trying to get that a little bit lower. I guess what I'm saying is, I guess what I'm saying is, I guess what I'm saying is, it's this difference between those.
I guess what I'm saying is that
It's interesting too, like guess. I want to hear how you're saying guess again.
I guess what
Guess versus guess. You are letting a lot of air through, but again, it's just that the placement is so high. So it's not it's more so again, just trying to shift everything a little lower.
I'm saying is that life is full of questions.
Questions versus questions. Again, breath in placement.
Saying is that life is full of questions.
Want to hear life again?
I guess what I'm saying is that life is
Life is versus life is life. So it's again lie. Again, just adding more breath to it, right? Just trying to open things up.
full of questions. And something is that life is full of questions.
Full of questions.
That life is full of questions.
Full of questions. Again, we're not allowing a lot of breath through. So what's happening is it's kind of feeling like it's getting caught a little bit, like full of questions versus full of questions. Trying to make sure that breath is also able to get from one sound to the next without interruption. So instead of like full of questions, because that it feels like it's almost popping.
That life is full of questions.
Full of questions versus full of questions. It's trying to really get the air flowing.
And sometimes it feels like the answers are just.
Sometimes it feels like the answers kind of punch you direct. Sometimes it feels like the answers. So what's happening here is we're using the same pitch pattern over and over again. Sometimes it feels like the question, or like sometimes it feels like the answer. So you and in general, American English doesn't like that sort of pattern much. We want things to either go higher in pitch or a little bit lower in pitch, instead of repeating the same pattern over and over again.
And sometimes it feels like the answers.
Sometimes it feels like the answers, they're very punchy with the stresses. One other thing you can try doing too is extending, like each time you pause, maybe you pause and longer. Sometimes it feels like the answers, like something like that might also help as well.
Feels like the answers are.
I want to hear answers again.
Sometimes it feels like the answers.
The answers versus answers. This is that a sound plus an n, which is a very tricky part of American English pronunciation because it's not a normal a sound. Instead, you're going to feel your tongue sliding back a little bit. And you want to do a heavy breath out of your nose right before the n sound. So it's not answers, it's more and, answers, and, answers. You also want to make sure that your placement on that N sound is low enough. It's very easy when people make an N sound that they do like when in reality they want like an Can you hear a difference between and So again, just trying to lower your placement on that N.